Hello, I am Denise, and the book I will be discussing is The Five Dysfunctions of a Team, which is a leadership fable by Patrick Lencioni. Patrick Lencioni is the founder and president of the Table Group, which is a management consulting firm that focuses on team development as well as organizational health. Who is Patrick Lencioni, you ask? He's a best-selling author, speaker, consultant, husband, and father. He's also one of the most in-demand business speakers according to the Wall Street Journal. Patrick Lencioni has 2 decades of experience working with CEOs and senior executive teams. He has 10 best-selling business books and has sold over 3 million copies. He has worked with thousands of executives at companies such as Southwest Airlines, AT&T, and General Mills. Prior to founding his own company, the Table Group, Patrick worked at the Oracle Corporation, Sybase, as well as Bain & Company. This particular book I am discussing today has sold over 1 million copies alone. Why is it important, you ask? The overall objective of any organization is to build a healthy organization, right? When talking about teams, I like to use my favorite sport as an example, football. The overall goal for any football team is to win championships. And in the NFL, the ultimate goal is to win that Super Bowl and raise that Lombardi trophy at the end. When you have individuals on the team that have bad energy, bad attitudes, as well as bad egos, they will affect the entire team, which could potentially cause a team to not make it to the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl championship. The 2 individuals on the right you may know as Chad Ochocinco Johnson and Terrell Owens, who were playing as individuals on their teams and made their teams all about them, which ultimately resulted in them no longer being in the NFL. Now let's move on to what I learned in the book. Patrick used a fictional company by the name of Decision Tech and a newly appointed CEO by the name of Catherine to discuss the 5 dysfunctions of a team. In this book, he created a model that will ultimately build a team at Decision Tech, which will not come without heartburn, however, and replacing key leaders in the company. Starting from the bottom and working up, you have absence of trust. This is the first dysfunction amongst the team. Teammates have to be willing to open up to other members of their team. If not, this may be a sign of lack of willingness to be vulnerable, which gives us invulnerability. Teams are also unable to build a foundation of trust without genuinely opening up. Next, we have fear of conflict. In fear of conflict, if you have a team that has an absence of trust, it is impossible to engage in work-related debates. Decisions, if any, become guarded. Next, we have lack of commitment. With lack of commitment, there is no buy-in or commitment to decisions because teams have failed to be able to engage in open debates based on rolling back to fear of conflict. Lack of commitment and buy-in causes an avoidance of accountability, which is my 4th dysfunction. Since there is no commitment to generate a clear plan of action, it is difficult to get team members to call each other out on bad behavior that is further causes counterproductivity amongst the team. Lastly, we have inattentive attention to results. Now, a failure to hold others accountable for their actions creates the 5th dysfunction of inattention results. This dysfunction, however, causes members to put their individual egos, recognition, career development, and potentially needs for their divisions above the shared goals of the team or organization. If one of these dysfunctions is allowed to thrive, teamwork begins to crumble, and again, the team becomes broken. Enron is used as a perfect example of a broken team. The absence of trust, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability is what contributed to the fall of Enron in the end. To simplify it and get a better understanding, let's take the opposite approach from a positive standpoint of how cohesive teams function. A cohesive team looks like, in the real world, they trust one another, A cohesive team engage in unfiltered conflict around areas. They commit to decisions and plans of actions, as well as hold one another accountable for delivering against those plans. They focus on achievement of collective results. The perfect example of a cohesive team, in my opinion, would put their individual atoms of trust and fears of conflict to the side to achieve results and win Olympic gold at Sochi is the men's Canadian hockey team. The Canadian hockey team, in order to beat every other team, they had to focus on one common goal, and that was cohesiveness. Now let's go back and review. You grow teams by following the above model and eliminating atoms of trust by creating conflict, committing to the team and decisions, holding others accountable for their actions, and achieving positive results. In closing, I say that I thoroughly enjoy the 5 dysfunctions of a team because it allowed me to use this model in my work environment as a leader of others in the military environment. The book is far from boring, and I think it is an outstanding tool for anyone who finds it difficult to accomplish tasks in their office environments, and I truly believe you will enjoy it just as much as I did. It is possible to form a habit within 21 days when trying to create a new behavior. Trust is key in any situation, and definitely when forming or rebuilding teams. Achieve your gold medal by forming teams, building relationships, and creating positive results. In summary, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this presentation and are able to take away some pointers to use in your everyday life as well as work environments when dealing with building positive teams. If you'd like to learn more about Patrick Lencioni, please go to his website listed above at www.tablegroup.com. You can also find the 5 Dysfunctions of a Team at Amazon.com as well as BarnesandNoble.com. Thank you for listening. Mahalo.